Yeah, is this a Mikuni Carb Rebuilders? Yeah, I've got a couple of carbs I need to get rebuilt. I was wanting to see if you'd send over a couple of guys, maybe the best you got. Oh, okay, I understand. We'll send them then. That'll work. I appreciate it, thanks. So this is who I got instead. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
This should be fun. I've got everything laid out nice and neat. Two of my boys down here, and we're gonna put these carbs back together. Assemble it. All of assembling them and symbolizing, reassemble. We're gonna be putting them together anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild these two carburetors. What we'll start with, let's put the jets back in. So the jet are these two little things right there. All right, so get the littlest one first. All right, yeah, drop it down in that hole. Get the little screwdriver, tighten it up. Got it? Nice job. This is where I like to go and order all my carb kits. osdparts.com. They've got really nice OEM carb kits, so I would suggest going to their website and checking them out. Whenever you order the carb kits from them, they always send you this nice little schematic of everything, so you make sure you get it all in the right place. So you got your, what is it?
The high-speed jet.
The high-speed jet. A screwdriver. I like to go up a size. I usually try to get the screwdriver that matches it the best. Good job. So you got yours in too? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little seals right there. So I like to take a little dab of assembly lube, just rub on that seal.
The gasket valve body.
The valve body gasket. Yeah, just a little bit. You don't even need that much. That's too much. Give some to James. Sting on it. Yeah, so now just rub it on that gasket and get it kind of. And line it up. Does that line up with everything? Nice. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, what is that? Valve body, wasn't it? Valve body assembly. So pick up the valve body assembly and look underneath it. All right, so there is a tiny little clear flap that goes right here and covers up that hole. There's a tiny little screw that goes in right there, and there's a little holding plate with a little tab that goes in that other little hole. There's the little holding plate and the little screw. And what he does whenever he sends you the kits, he takes those two little clear flaps and puts them underneath a post-it arrow. Do not drop it, whatever you do. They're impossible to see and to find. All right, so if you look at the clear flap and look at your valve body, line the holes up the way that you see that they're going to go on there. Perfect. And get your little plate. And then get that little screw and get it through the hole on that flap. And then get your small Phillips. Just double check before you tighten all the way down and make sure see how the flap's getting, there you go. Nice. Y'all better listen. I'm talking to you. Hey. Hey. Y'all quit hitting each other. Stop it. Are we going to get these cars put together or not? My goodness. Next thing we're going to do is take that valve body All right, look at your screws. Your screws are kind of okay. Take those screws out. What do your screws look like? Give me those two. Those are the two screws that are like super stripped. I ordered 4 new screws from OSD. What? Ben got them reflexes. He does struggle with his fingers. The boy, he's just grown so fast. He don't know how to handle his new big body. All right, back to the carburetors. All right, did you get your 2 new screws? Okay, well, drop your valve body into your carburetor. See how it goes in there? Yeah. It's like, you played that game when you were a kid with the square that goes in the square hole, the round thing that goes in the round hole, the triangle thing that goes in. All right, get the big screwdriver. Do not strip the new screws. Yeah, you want it tight, but don't strip them. Daddy's got to do a torque check. Ooh, that one's good, James. Good job. All right, let's see what. Ooh. Oh, those are tight. Way to go, boys. All right, boys. How's it going so far? It's all right. Yeah, it's not too bad. These things aren't really that complicated. So next, we have this thingamaflooger, this thingamaflooger. We're gonna do those next. And that thingamaflooger is a seat. And slide the little cover off of it. Just slide it out. Nice. That's the needle. Needle and seat. Take your assembly lube and once again get just a little bit on your finger. Good. Yeah, and just wipe that around the O-ring. The ring of O's. So that end goes down and it goes inside. Yes, right there. Now push. Get yours pushed down in there. Nice. Nope. Boy, you working ahead? Don't be working ahead. So next, we're gonna get the little, piece next to it. Yep. And that drops in, that's your little retainer clip. Now you need to get your screw. Just put the screw on the tip of your finger, and then that way you can kind of shoot it in there. Okay, don't strip it. So get your retainer clip there. All right, get the big screwdriver from him. Now tip of one finger. Like that. Yay. Just like I taught you. My boy. So now it's time to get our needle put in. So get your needle, drop it in your seat. Beautiful. There you go. And you already got your spring in there. So get your spring, drop that in there. All right, so then you got your little wings with your little post there. So get that tab underneath the needle, and then the little nub on top of the springy doomajig. You get your little screw, tighten down on the little pivot postulator. Nice. So now we can work on the other side. The one that Ben has is the one that has the fuel pump. So there's more on that one. So let's get yours back together real quick. Get a little bit of the assembly lube and kind of juice that up. And some of this stuff's the same, so you can go ahead and do the same thing, Ben. I just like to get a little bit on there, because I think it makes it seal up good. Some people may say don't do it. I don't think it hurts anything. All right. So the next thing is there's a little filter. See the little filter? It goes in that hole right there. Bam, boom, filter in a hole. So on yours, the next thing is that plate right there. So if you look on the plate, you caught it. See that tab right there? And see that notch right there? So now get your bag of screws and get the next smallest screws out of there. Use these washers on your screws. Yeah. Alright, get those all snugged up. Alright, while he's finishing that, that is the next piece that goes on there. But get a little bit of assembly lube and moisten it just a little bit. It's a gasket. You are so smart. Yes, it's a seal between two pieces of motor stuff. Stay focused, Ben. Are you focused? Stay focused. This is an interesting little part of the job. See those little clear discs with the blue lines? And get one of the little black stoppers. Now get a little bit of the assembly lube on the little tip of the black stopper. I think using one of these little corner holes right here is the easiest. This little disc has got a side to it. It's concave. So if you look at it real close, you can kind of see that it bows up one way. If you can see which side has the marker on it, that side goes up. Now, lay it down over the hole. There's a special tool right there made specifically for this job. Gently push it through there. You don't want to poke a hole in the thing. You just want to, yep, there you go. Yeah, you can go and do the same thing on yours. Can you tell which way? Perfect. One of those goes on one side and one goes on the other. See how this side has got the little raised up rim around the edges? So that's what that is going to seal against, is that little raised edge right there. So what I would say do is put just a little bit more assembly lube on the tip there. It'll make life a lot easier for you trying to push it through there. Now don't poke a hole in the thing, just try to. Always flip it over and look to make sure that the whole thing poked through, like part of the edge isn't like stuck and didn't go all the way through. All right. You wanna try it? Cool. So next, you gotta put this plate on so you can look and kind of see there's things there, then that's there. And so those things match those things. So that means that. Plus you got a tab here and a tab here that line up and match each other. So then, next, you know, these and these and that. Little dab of assembly lube, you already know it, don't you? There you go. Beautiful. Now get your clear piece. Put you a little assembly lube on it. There you go. Grab the other gasket. What is it? A seal. The gasket is a seal. I call it a gasket. Put some assembly lube on it.
I don't want to touch that stuff.
That's good stuff.
It makes my hands feel very cold.
It's clean.
I don't like my hands feel like
Nice. Get your little plate there. We got to do our screws, our high and low adjustment screws. So go ahead and take those little O-rings and slide on the appropriate ones. So adjustment screws, one goes in over here and one goes in over here. This one's low, this one's high. So the high screws higher up on the carb and the low screws lower on the carb. Yeah, you gotta hold yours out of the way. You can get back there to it. And once you get started, just get your flathead screwdriver and you just want to go till you feel it get like snug. Is it snug? That's snug. There's yours coming over here. Yeah, all right, so that's what you want. You want both of them snugged out. Okay, so whenever I took them apart, they had some kind of strange settings. We're just gonna go back to factory settings. cdosource.com for carb reference. It's 1995 GTX. And adjustments for our screws. Remember how far off the screws were. There's our low screw. Turn it out 1 1/4 turns. Alright, so that's a 1/2 turn. Alright, so that's 1 1/4. Did 1 1/4 turns. Alright, so now let's do our high screw. High screw is only a 1/4 turn. Alright, so that's snugged up. And that's a 1/4 turn. Alright, so the next thing we gotta do is test our pop-off pressure. Pop-off pressure, 19 to 35. Boom. Alright, so I've got the pump hooked up to the fuel in and the fuel out. I've got stopped up. And we're gonna put just a little WD-40 in there. And then we're gonna pump. So we're trying to look at the gauge to see when it pops. And it looks like it did it right around 50, which is pretty high. Ooh, it got on our camera. Yeah, it's all over our camera. So let's push that on your fuel out. And push this on your fuel in. Roar. Water displacement, the 40th try. And yeah, trying not to get any WD-40 on my camera. Wow, that one went way high. That was probably 55. So that's way high compared to what it's supposed to be. Makes me wonder if that's the right spring at all. We may cheat and try it because I don't have any more springs. And they were out of springs. I tried to order some. So we may cheat and just trim a little bit off of one of those springs. Try to just trim it down a little bit and see if we can get the pop off we want. So there's the one flat ring, basically 2 rings. Drop it back in. Please stop. I don't need creative camera work. A little more WD-40. Ah. So that was probably about 38-ish. So not super far off. I'm gonna make just another little tiny little snip on it. And I think we'll be in good shape on this one. I'm gonna take 3/4 of a loop. Drop it back in there. A little more WD. All right, that's 30. So that popped off about 32, something like that. So that's good. We're within range now. See if we can't adjust the spring on this other carb a little bit. All right. Come on out of there, spring. Oh. So on that last one, I took the flat ring, part of another one, I think. And that got us down to about 40, I think. Just a little WD, get a little pumpage. All right, there's 30. That was, what was that? No, I think it was about 35. Yeah, I think we're in range. Cool. That's real nice, Clark. Kind of put a little bit of assembly lube all the way around this. All right, you got those all lubed up. So, Look on that disc. You see in the center, it's got that little tab. Look what the tab lines up with. So basically when a certain amount of vacuum builds, pressure builds, it's gonna suck that down and it's gonna open that needle up, which is gonna let more gas through. So now go around the edge of that and just make sure it's seated into that groove really good. And get your little silver cover there. Another cool thing about so that wrench has got a little ball bearing that you have to kind of push. This is a Wera that helps to hold. So just tighten snug them all down first. Just snug them all down and then go around and give them the last, snug torque. Oh yeah. Boys got the carbs all put back together. I just got through going ahead and installing these cable stops. I realized whenever I was doing it that this little piece right here was missing, this little plastic elbow. This goes to the oil pump. Whenever the throttle gets twisted, it pulls that cable and engages that oil pump. Because the cool thing about the oil injected two-stroke Sea-Doos is the fact that at idle, it's pumping less oil for less fuel, and as you give it gas, that increases. That's what makes injection better than premix, in my opinion. We're gonna finish getting these two carburetors fixed back together. The old line that I cut off, I measured off of it, should be the same. Push on that new line there. There's a little double spring thing right there, and this has got a little tab, and those have to fit between each other. So that looks good. And then we can mount our little connecting plate there. Everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and set those clamps. Looks like it's time to get our new fuel line and get the tank back in. We got a pair of carbs we need to install. All right, so we're going to be replacing all these fuel lines. I kind of mocked it up here, more or less, kind of. A lot of condas in there. Just so you could see. So you got your fuel tank, is the sending unit, fuel selector, fuel filter, carburetor. Be nice. Take it apart. Not much to these little fuel selectors. Take this O-ring off. Maybe. Oh yeah, there she comes. Come on there, O-ring. We'll throw these things in the parts washer. I like this stuff right here, this Berryman's Chem Dip carburetor cleaner. Parts I'm wanting to clean. Drop them in, give them a little shake. Put them over here in the parts washer. Alright, let's see if we can get in there and get that vent line undone. Right there, we're going to replace that. I got some new check valves. Haha. Let's go ahead and rebuild this vent line real quick. Ain't that pretty? The only bad thing about cleaning the inside of the hull and then taking the gas tank out is it's nasty under the gas tank. Makes you want to like clean it again. So what we're going to do is, look, it's clean again. There you go. To make that little rubber ring maybe slide on there a little bit easier. Just leave it up a little bit. And then, there's, oh, did you see how easy it went on? That was so easy. Gotta get the straps back on. This is kind of tricky because you can't really get two arms back there very easy. One hand. Ah, yes. Wow. Let's go ahead and plug it up. All right, we are secure. Okay, now we got to get our fuel selector out of the parts washer. Oh, look at it. Is it ready? Mmm. There we go. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna take these inside and rinse them off real quick. There's my little, there's my little tab. Gotta be careful with these things, they won't crack. Like this one. Kind of already got a little bit of a crack showing. What's going on here? Looking nice. Alright, we gotta get the fuel filter installed now, and the line hooked up to it, and then the line going out to the car. Let's go ahead. Get the pulse line set up here. Here we go. Alright, there's our two gaskets. Kind of stick the gasket in place. Boom, gasket. And our freshly rebuilt, professionally rebuilt. Rebuilt by professionals. And go ahead and get the pulse line hooked up there. And pulse line is hooked up. Stayed. I need to make sure that we get our oil pump hooked back up. I'm going to get my mirror out. Little mirror with a light. It's pretty handy. As long as you can get it set and stay where you want it. Some of this stuff is just tedious. The next thing you got to hook up is the oil pump, and it's down underneath the carburetor. I don't know if you can see my fingers or not, but there's a groove in the arm of the pump, and then on the pump body itself there's another groove, and you have to adjust the cable to where those two line up. You can see this cable needs to be tightened a little bit because it's not quite lined up here. So right there's where the cable adjustment is for the for the oil. So we got to loosen, there's a lock nut right there. So we got to loosen up that lock nut and then tighten it down a little bit. So there's that. And then where's the 10 millimeter? The other one. Oh, here it is. There we go. Got it that time. So let's loosen the lock nut up some. We'll get it back in position. So now we're going to tighten it up. See that while I'm tightening it. Let's see if I can. Almost got it right there. Get back around here. I can hold that. We'll cinch down our lock nut. Alright. Okay, so that looks good. Next, we can hook up our choke. Now if I can just pull that back through. And just a little barrel to spin there. Haha! We win. Ding. Another one of those things I normally do before I mount the carb. I got ahead of myself. All right, it's on there good. Very good, very good, very nice. All right, here's our return line. So we're not going to hook that up just yet. We're going to go ahead and put some gas in the tank, and then we're going to try to prime everything up before we hook up the return. All right, I'm going to push this up on the return. I'm going to set up this little dude here. Alright, so let's start with the on position. Oh, there it goes. Got the fuel in, I believe. That's the on line. That's the one that should have got fuel in. Looks like we got fuel in our filter. Let me pull a little more suction on it and you watch. Oh, I see fuel coming. Cool, let's switch it over to reserve. Do the same thing. You should be able to watch the reserve line fill up. That's that one right there. Is it doing it? Man, I think we're pretty well primed up. All right, so now we gotta get our return officially hooked up. Get our clamp. Then we gotta get a battery in there. See if it'll start. Alright, what do you think's gonna happen? Getting old. That's good stuff. Woo, nice. Looks like we worked out the fuel situation. I gotta get out of here. Oh my God. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Nine Fingered Wrenching. On next episode, we're going to continue to button this up, kind of tidy up the lines on the inside. We're going to go ahead and hook it up to the hose outside too and run it for a little bit longer. We want to try to make sure the ski's running really good before we worry about going and chrome dipping the trailer or anything. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.